This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome everyone. Where there is poetry, there is life. And today we will live a wonderful life because we will be releasing a wonderful book, Things I Told Myself by Jahnavi Gogoi Bora. Let's know about her before we proceed and know our special guest. Our chief guest today is Shiju Pallithazeth. I think we all know him. Swapna Behera is our special guest. Our guest of honor, Lynn Luiz ma'am from USA, Mellisa Begley from USA, Barabara ma'am from USA, and we also have Ehrentreu ma'am. I'm very happy that I found her, and she finally accepted our invitation. She wanted to know about the book, and finally, I hope she liked the book. And thank you so much for being here. Sreekala ma'am is here. Again, the smiling face. Yes, Sreekala ma'am, thank you so much for being here. Barabara ma'am. And before we introduce you all, let us know Jahnavi Bora. Jahnavi Gogoi Bora is an Indo-Canadian writer. Till date, Jahnavi has written 2 series of books under the heading Be Good, Do Good, published by Macau Books, India in 2014, followed by a second series in 2019, presented by Dar El Rateb, a publishing house based out of Lebanon. Her stories have been translated into Arabic and have won over young readers. Her first love has always been poetry, though. She started off by contributing to various newspapers during her teen years. Things I Told Myself is her first book of poetry, and I won't speak much about this book or about this title because she should speak. So I will keep this for her. We will ask her, what is this about? What is the title about? She was born in Assam and holds a postgraduate degree in English literature from Guwahati University. Currently, she lives in Ajax, hope I'm pronouncing it right, Ontario, Canada, with her family. So in her spare time, she loves pottering about the house and writing in her pajamas. So she has an Instagram page, add a dash of words for her soulful verse. So she is a wonderful human being, and she was also a student of journalism. She has also worked for newspapers and magazines in Assam. So yes, Jahnavi, first question to you, before we introduce our guest, how are you feeling today? The release of your first poetry book.
I am actually very nervous, and I usually get very anxious about such events, such public events. And so I was here a half an hour earlier today because there was some misunderstanding about the time, and I was waiting to be let in. And then I was wondering what happened. And then I realized that it's actually at 6:30 p.m. India time. So I'm quite elated actually, because this has been a dream of mine to publish a book of poetry, and Griffin has made that come true. So my state of mind right now is I'm excited, very excited to be here.
Thank you so much. We have with us Swapna Behera ma'am. She is an educationist. She's from Odisha. I hope I'm right. She is a trilingual contemporary poet, author, translator, editor, educationist, highly reputed author. And her poems have been translated into so many languages, maybe 65 languages, right? So Swapna ma'am, few words for Jahnavi. Can you hear me, Swapna ma'am? Few lines for Jahnavi.
Please repeat.
Ma'am, we have just Jahnavi is saying she's excited today. All right, it is her first poetry book, and we are releasing. So I have just introduced you. You have been very experienced poet, author, a trilingual contemporary poet, author, translator, editor, and educationist. What do you have to say today to Jahnavi as an emerging beautiful poetess?
Hello, Jahnavi. I must congratulate you first. I don't have the real rose, but hundreds of roses from Bhubaneswar to Canada.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank
and
you.
we all are celebrating the creativity here. You might have spent many sleepless nights and
True.
invisible experiences and the visual events and the visual, the muse has inspired you in many ways. The
True.
pain and the joy that only you know. But
True.
the aura, we are receiving it from you now. And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to celebrate that aura of an author. This is your debut book as debut poetry book. But then you are quite experienced, and being an education is definitely you were surrounded by the youth throughout your career, right? So many poems are there. I have seen the index. I don't have the book right now, but one sentence has touched me, which was printed in the back page. Who are we without love? Love is addictive. Love is passionate. Love is furious. Don't you know? You must go missing before you find yourself. That sentence has touched me, Jahnavi, and I am waiting for your next creativity. Okay, I must give the opportunity to everybody. All my best wishes to you. Let us wait. Okay,
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
ma'am.
so much.
Thank you.
my
Thank you.
blessings, dear, my blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swapna ma'am. We will come back to you again. You have to speak a lot, say a lot, encourage us a lot. We have with us Annie Thrope ma'am. She must have read a few poems of Jahnavi Gogoi today. How would you encourage Jahnavi Gogoi as a woman poetess and an emerging beautiful poetess? Annie Thrope ma'am, what would you have to say? Annie Thrope ma'am is a wonderful poetess. She has written innumerable poems, and she has won many prestigious awards. Yes, Annie Thrope ma'am.
Thanks for the invitation, first of all. And what I would like to say the most is that I know the feeling, the elation that this beautiful author is feeling. Because when I launched my first debut poetry book, the nervousness, the excitement, it's like having a baby. It's
Yes.
absolutely. And I just want to give her all my best wishes. And I hope that the book takes off the way that she would like it to and reaches a wide audience. I just have all the best wishes in the world for her in this exciting moment. I just know the feeling, and I hope that she reaches the wide audience that she would like to. I love the title. Absolutely love the title.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you
We
so
all
much.
tell each other, we all tell ourselves things. So
Yes.
all my best wishes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Annie ma'am. So we have our chief guest, Shiju sir here. Shiju sir, hope you are here. Can you hear us? I could see him.
No. Yeah. See, Mousumi, I am a guest today, okay? I'm going to listen to all of you and then I'll say the vote of thanks.
No.
Just kidding. Okay.
So without you, how can we begin our program? Shiju sir is a motivational poet. First of all, let me tell you, he is a pillar behind many successful poets. And his words have encouraged many poets, many young, old. He has united the world to write. Thank you so much, sir. He is the CEO, founder of Motivational Strips. Yes, sir. To you now.
First of all, my heartfelt congratulations to Jahnavi Gogoi, Bora.
Thank you so much.
When that name Gogoi comes, it reminds me of one of my best friend when I was doing my post graduation in management, because I did it in the place called Kolhapur. So his name was Nilutpul Gogoi. So the moment when I read that surname Gogoi, it reminded me that you should be also from Assam. So of course,
Yes.
my guess was right. First and foremost, there are two things which I observed in the book. The title goes in very well in sync with the content of the book. Things I tell myself. I'm sure Lynn, Luiz, Mellisa, Thrope, Swapna, Behera, all these wonderful ladies here with beautiful smiles, and of course Mousumi. What makes a writer? Things which we tell ourselves. So it's a very wisely chosen title. It is not only applicable to a poet, it is also applicable to fiction, non-fiction writers, as well as it applies to even an autobiography. Because what we tell ourselves through a cosmic source, which is called the muse, is what comes out, as vibrant poetry, as vibrant fictional content. So the title is very wisely. I suppose this will be the only title. This will be the only book with this title, because it's such a wonderful title. Of course, the cover picture has been designed. I'm sure this cover picture was designed by you, Mousumi, or by author itself.
No, it is my friend. She has illustrated many of my previous books, actually. Yeah,
that also goes in very well. I believe this book, if well marketed, Mousumi, I'm sure that this book can be very successful, because first and foremost, the title is catchy. It
Right.
takes, it just pulls you into the book, and people don't have to think too much what will be the content. So things I tell myself, because you're doing a relay of all the thoughts that keeps cooking in your mind, and the taste of it is known to the reader once the reader goes through your content. That is one thing. And second thing, I read one of your poem which was very interesting. I think I'll have to go to that poem. I think it was Departure or something. One poem struck me very hard.
Poem number 13.
Yeah, Departure.
Yeah, Departure.
13.
Yeah. The last two lines. The last two lines, Well, it has been nice seeing you. Nothing changed except us. Very powerful. Very powerful, Jahnavi.
Thank you so much.
This is what is life, Nothing has changed. Our surroundings and all more or less same only. We have the two legs, we have the two hands, we have maybe our face is slightly wrinkled after a particular age. Maybe the surrounding has a little bit of infrastructure changes. But that is not change. The major change happens within us. The transformation of us as a human being from what we were, which is influenced by the experiences we had during that particular tenure of absence, which brings in a lot of changes to us.
True.
And that two lines, well, it has been nice seeing you. Nothing changed except us. It's actually a good dialogue also. What do you say, Mousumi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Agree. Absolutely.
So,
thank you so much. Yeah.
And that poem called The Words, these are tiny perfumes which goes, and that also had a very strong impact on me. It's like jewels in their uncut glory. Yeah, it's jewels in the uncut glory. How precisely we use the word, that actually makes the diamond shine more.
True.
The more we are precise in the kinds of words we deliver to the reader, the more that particular gem becomes precious. So otherwise, generally when a word flows out, it's an uncut glory. Again, very sensible, very wisely written. So I find the book generally very interesting. It is very different. All of your points are very different from what we have been seeing around. The book cover goes very well in sync with the title, and I love the title.
Thank you.
So as far as your background is also concerned, I could understand that you are based in Ontario, USA. So Lynn and Mellisa and Thrope, I believe all of your neighbors. I am the only one who is far away. And Mousumi and Swapna Behera ji also. Hello. We might be far away. But in terms of hearts, we are just a window peep away.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right.
So first and foremost, I extend my heartfelt best wishes to you, Jahnavi.
Thank you.
Keep writing. I'm sure with the kind of content what I read, you have still scope for more books to come. And I'm sure this book will, even though it's your debut poetry book, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, debut
It's
collection
your
of
debut.
poems.
I think you have written 2 books in a series before, but that was not poetry.
I have written 16 books actually for children.
Mhm.
Two series of books, and there was supposed to be a third series, but I have not heard from them in a while. So I don't know with the pandemic and everything. So yeah.
The right time, no? Pandemic is the right time when we can start, moving the pen non-stop. So this is your debut poetry book, right?
Yes.
Debut poetry book. Yeah, so you can continue with such books in future also, because I'm sure the muse will never, even though you will be resting, I'm sure your muse won't be resting. That will keep prodding you, with something or the other every day and then. So more books are to be expected from you.
Thank
So
you,
I
sir.
think basically what I'll just say a few words on, and after having comprehended the purpose of the book. And with that, we will carry on with the agenda, Mousumi, like how, if anybody else has to speak.
Yes, sir.
Things what we tell ourselves is very much correlated to insight. We have an insight. Even you can't control it. It comes on its own. So, when you tell things which you don't want to say, but it happens on its own, that means, it is something is there in your subconscious mind, which is, trying its level best to come out as flowing waterfall with crystal clear, uncut glory, we call those jewels. So when that package comes out, it definitely wouldn't be very similar to what others have. It will have its unique taste and flavor, and that is what makes one writer different from one other writer. Of course, all the writers are wonderful. They have their own style, but they are again things what we tell ourselves. So insight, let me also take this opportunity, because it is the book launch of Jahnavi Gogoi Bora. Let me also take this opportunity to tell that never stop telling things to yourself.
Yes.
Ask questions to yourself. Ask questions and try thinking about it, and you try to get answers out of it. Mousumi, if you remember Katashi Tales,
Yes, sir.
that 15 stories, I was asking the questions to because there are many fables also. I was
Let
asking
me
the
tell you, it's
question
a
to the animal,
best-selling
and I
book.
was,
Jahnavi,
I was,
it's a-
and so I had to be the questioner, and the answers were also given by myself. But when I asked the questions to myself as a rabbit, I got the answer from the rabbit. And then all of a sudden, when I read what I had written, it had transformed into a beautiful story. So all these, Jahnavi's book is also a motivation, or rather an instigation for people to come out and speak to themselves.
Yes.
Because when you're undergoing extreme pain, that time also, when you don't speak to yourself, if you try to ignore yourself, you're never going to come out of it. It's never going to heal. It will rather, put more pressure on you. So when you have a problem, when you're sad, you lost a friend, why did I lose him? How nice it was, those memories. Then you can tell yourself that, yes, I still have those memories in me. Those moments are there still in me. Only the body has departed, but the soul, the happiest moments are still with me.
Right.
So it interconnects in many ways, and I'm sure if with the kind of title it has, with the kind of content it has, with the purpose it has, it can bring a lot of smiles to many people. Of course, if you would have written it generally like like a diary, we say, no, I met him so and so morning, and in verse form, it is not written in that way. There are a lot of wisdom which has gone into your verses, and that wisdom is what brings amusement to the reader, and that is what makes the reader look into the content and tries to while away time, tries to absorb, many things. See, for example, I just read your poem Departure. Of course, the entire poem is good, but the 2 lines, that was enough for me. That was the hot button I extracted out from it. And that, because of that hot button, I was curious to read your next poem also, what she has written. So, wishing you all the best. My heartfelt congratulations to you and to your family. And all my adorable angels are here. Very happy to see all of them together here. So, even though we haven't met much, but the other people are, like, okay, you two are a part of our family from today because we just met. But otherwise, in various meetings and otherwise in our general administration, they all, we all work together as a family. And of course, Mousumi is very much working along with us. So wish you all the best. Mousumi, you can now,
Thank
I
you so
wanted to
much.
do a vote of thanks. But
You
the
will do
content
it
really
today.
made me speak so much. Chala,
I won't let you go
you
today.
can, no problem. Let me hear out the others. No problem. Thank you so much for
Right.
giving this privilege by this invitation. My heartfelt regards to you, Mousumi, and to Griffin Publication, News Now Nation, and of course to Jahnavi for having come out with such a wonderful book. And I'm sure it will become a success. From our end also, we'll be supporting the book.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Griffin Publication is really proud to publish Jahnavi Gogoi's book, Things I Told Myself. We have Mary Louis ma'am. Yeah, she's the first one to come and how much time is left, Mousumi? She was so excited to meet the author, and she appreciated the poem words a lot. So over to you, Mary ma'am. She is a wonderful poetess and winner of many prestigious awards. So, Mary ma'am, yes, all yours now.
Well, first of all, I have to agree with Anne. I absolutely know how she must feel. I remember when I launched my first book, Shiju encouraged me to do that. He said he wanted a book he could hold. Before that, all of my books were ebooks. Anyway, they launched my book on my 75th birthday, and I was elated. Now, I know how you feel. And I did read the poem Words. Oh my, that was wonderful. I loved every line of that poem. Because my motto is love God, love people, and change the world with your words. So to me, words are so very, very powerful. They're actually prayers because, the words you speak to yourself really become you. So I encourage you, you are a wonderful, wonderful poet. And I am so happy to meet you personally. I'm also glad to know that you were a single mother for a long time. And it took you a long time to get your education. Because you know what? It took me the same thing. I had 3 children I was raising by myself. And it took me 10 years to get my education. But you know what? It was so worth the time that I spent with my children. So I admire you for that. That is wonderful. And I do hope that you get back into it. That is what you really want to do. But your poetry, your book, the cover, everything, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I really do think your book is going to go. Because we all tell our things. Every one of us tell ourselves things. We make mistakes. We really do. We're human. We make mistakes. But my goodness, the thing is, when you make a mistake, learn from it. Learn from it. That's the important thing. So I really, really am so glad to meet you. I wish you the best of luck. And I just know in my heart it is going to go. So God bless you. And you keep writing, keep that ink flowing.
Thank you, ma'am. I just want to clarify that I'm not a single mother.
No, I said before, didn't you say you were raising a child?
No, I am raising a child. No. My husband is there. But the journey, motherhood is a very lonely journey, I feel, because I have been in this country and I've had absolutely no support. So like Like
But
in
now
India,
you are a poet.
Well, see,
Yeah,
that's
now
why
I'm
I
a
thought
poet.
you were single
Yeah.
when you said you
Yeah.
had no support. Yeah,
That's-
okay, I understand now. Yeah, okay.
Getting back
Yeah.
to poetry again, we have Barabara ma'am with us. Barabara ma'am, hope you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yes.
She is a wonderful human personality and a great poetess. I have been reading her. I've been reading all of you. All right. So Barbara ma'am, like a budding poet, a beautiful poetess, you know, and she has dreams. She has to write more and more, and writing should be her journey from today. She should not stop. So what do you have to say? All yours.
Okay. Javni, is that how you pronounce your name? Javni. I am so excited for you because my first book was a novel. And I remember the excitement of seeing that book in print. And it was just like, oh my God, it's so exciting. I am also a mother. So it was very much like the birth of my first child. It was just so exciting. So seeing your poetry book in print must be wonderful for you.
Yes.
All I can say is I love the title too. Things I Told Myself. It reminds me of things that I tell myself all the time. As a poet, I never thought that I was good enough. My poetry is so different from anyone else's that I thought it couldn't possibly be poetry. And when I wrote my first book, my first poetry book, it was published by somebody who fell in love with my poems and said, I must publish this. She said, they are so sad. I cried through the whole book. And the poems were written and the book was published after my husband passed away. So a lot of the poems are very sad. And I thought, why would anyone want to read these sad poems? But then I found that people wanted to read these poems and that they did get something out of it. So I feel your book with your work is going to ring with everyone in a different way. And I felt really strongly about a poem that you wrote, Lost Girl.
Yes.
I loved how it started simple and then moved on to something that was way more involved. And then the last lines, a lone tear ran down his face. Well, it has been nice seeing you. Nothing's changed except us. And you get the whole story and you
Yeah.
tell the story in those 3 lines, which is, you know, between the beginning and the ending of that was just so beautiful. And I loved your language too. I haven't read all your poems, but the language was so descriptive and crisp. And I look for that in a poem and it flowed. Your poetry flows. And I was a judge for so many poetry contests. And Mellisa will remember my criteria for judging a good poem was that the first thing for me was that it had to flow. You know, it had to flow on the page. You had to start reading it and want to keep reading it and keep wanting to read it all the way through. And yours do that. And I'm very excited for you. I feel that this book will take off. And I love the cover too. I love red and it's got red on it. So I love red. And
Thank you.
and
I'm wearing red today in honor.
yeah, and I just want to say that congratulations to you. And I will definitely want you on I have a radio program.
Right.
And I would love you to contact me so that I could get you on my program. I put authors on, we talk about their lives and you get to read excerpts. And I think you'd be great for my program. So please come on.
Oh
And
my God.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mousumi, and I'm very thrilled to be here to help you launch this great book. So many thanks.
Thank you. I'm so blessed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barabara ma'am. We have a very beautiful poetess with us, Mellisa Begley ma'am. She is an emotional poet. Her poems are full of emotions, love, and really her verses are very touching. Yes, Mellisa ma'am, over to you. What do you have to say today? We are releasing Jahnavi Gogoi's Things I Tell Myself.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here. It is so exciting to be a part of the book launch. And I love the cover. It is eye-catching. And I do feel like the mirror is the portal to your soul. Self-reflection, you can see your inner light, to mirror Shiju, it's your subconscious. And I think that your muse is there. And I know as a young female, especially as a teenager, I would look in the mirror, not for my physical appearance, but for self-reflection. And I would, delve into my, consciousness and try to, work out positive things and negative things, because I think it's very important. And I think women have a deep thought process. And I think we are more emotional. No offense against the males, because males are more like to the point,
Yes.
They have a high level of reason, but women, we have to delve into every aspect of what we think, what we breathe. And I love your book for that reason, because, you relate to everybody, the males and the females. And I think it's important that we are in touch with our emotions, and love is so very important. And I have not read your poems yet on trees, but I think it's very important that cosmic nature is part of, every aspect of our life as well. And I talk to my trees. I know I'm a little crazy. I know my neighbors probably think I'm crazy, but I don't really care. They love me anyway. But I just think the whole spiritual realm, we're in one dimension, but I think there's other dimensions. And I think the mirror is the portal to the muse into other dimensions. And I look forward, I've read a little bit about your book, the poems, but I look forward to actually purchasing your book, because it looks to be such, a wonderful, I love the index, and I'm just looking forward to, and I just want to say congratulations on your first poetry book. That is exciting, and thank you for letting me be here in your beautiful day, for your book launch. And thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mellisa ma'am. Sreekala ma'am must be wondering, yes, I do not know, Sreekala ma'am, if you have read this book or not. I could send you the book or not. I could manage, because due to Holi, I managed somehow to send the book to many of the poets, but some are left. Yes, Sreekala ma'am, the book is Things I Tell Myself. You have love, you have the fragrance of romance, you have the fragrance of loneliness, of womanhood, everything you will find in this book. Yes, Sreekala, a few words for Jahnavi.
Yes. Even though I haven't read the book or part of the book, I could say that because it's the third time I'm meeting Jahnavi through the Zoom meet. So I could read what will be there. And the way how she recites, it shows the value of emotions, how she describes in her poem. And when the title says so much about the book, and after hearing these many people talking over there, I would love to say once again, the title and the book cover, everything goes very well. And then Jahnavi, all the very best. And it's going to be a bestseller for sure. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Sreekala.
you so much.
Thank you.
Now, why not formally, release her book? Just wait. Jahnavi, before we release your book, we just want to know that the idea behind The title of your book, Things I Told Myself. How did you decide that the title of my book should be Things I Told Myself?
Mousumi, that's a very interesting question. And so many people have asked me this. I've said this in so many interviews. So my friend, she's here somewhere today. I don't see her. She has joined. So my friend Jyoti Dole, who has contributed a lot to this book, she and I were having a conversation about the patriarchal setup in which we were born, and we were complaining about it, the necessity of breaking those chains. And, when we were ranting about all the things that have happened to us over the years, she told me something very interesting. She said that, there have been many times in life when she has told herself a lot of things which other people did not. And those things have helped her to survive, to thrive, even in a, highly, what shall I say? I shouldn't keep saying patriarchal society, but it has. And I was so delighted because at that particular moment when she said that these are things I told myself, I immediately pounced on it. And I said, this is going to be the title of my book. And I wrote a poem. The titular poem is also inspired by what she said to me at that particular moment. So this is how the title of the book was born, from a conversation with a friend. In fact, most of the poems in this book have been, have been born out of conversations which I've had with my friends over the years. So there you have it.
So, so what is poetry to you, Jahnavi? What is poetry to you?
Poetry to me, now that's again a very difficult question to answer. Poetry means so much to so many people. Poetry to me is finding a voice. And I would like to say this to all people, all young poets as well, that it is very important that we speak about things, that we speak up. And poetry is about, of course, expressing your feelings and emotions. Poetry is about connecting with nature. It is about connecting with people. And poetry is also about, for me personally, is also about talking about a lot of social issues. It's about talking about peace. It's talking about feminism. It's about talking about discrimination, talking about equality. So especially in the catastrophic times in which we live in. So for me, poetry is about reaching out to people and using my voice to give people a voice. To those people who do not have a voice, for me, that's very important. Mousumi, you're muted. I think I can't hear you.
2 best poems in this book you love.
My personal favorite is the poem Birds, because Birds again takes me back to a very unadulterated time in my life. My father, who is no longer with us, was very fond of bird watching. And he used to sit with me during Sunday mornings, and we would look at the birds which would flock to our lawn. And it talks about a beautiful day coming to an end. It talks about stargazing, looking at constellations. And at the end of the poem is about, at the end of the poem, I talk about deep slumber, which might also point towards a lack of self-awareness on the part of the author, on the part of the poet. And another very favorite poem of mine is the poem Strangers. It is a love poem. It is about 2 people meeting on a train while they are taking the subway. It's about them. And it's one of my favorite poems. Strangers. Beautiful. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can we hear 2 lines from you? So that our eminent poets can listen to your voice also, the way you render you to recite.
So it's a little long.
You just read 4 lines for us, and we will listen to you once again, once we release your book formally.
Right. So I'll just read, these 2 people are meeting on a train in the poem Strangers. So this girl, she has to alight from the train. She has reached her station, and she touches his arm, and her fingers gently touch his arm. The warmth permeates through the tweed. And he has a dangerous impulse. When she grins straight into his startled eyes, he stares unabashed, suddenly alive. I have to go, but, she whispers, proclivity, the word you're looking for. So
Wow.
this man is doing the
Oh, I
crossword
like
puzzle.
it. I like it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And do you want me to read another couple of
Yes,
lines?
we will. We will read. First of all, I welcome Shiju sir, Swapna ma'am, Mary ma'am, Mellisa ma'am. We have Ehrentreu ma'am, and the guest Sreekala is here. I hope you haven't left. All right. So Annie ma'am is there, and your guest. I hope Jyoti is also there. Why not together we release the book? It's 7:27 and it's a pretty beautiful like minute to launch, to release formally the book, Things I Told Myself. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Heartiest
No,
congratulations.
one second before the launch. Things I told myself is no longer with myself. Now it's with the world. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you so
Congratulations.
much. Thank you.
Congratulations. So here is the formal release. Griffin Publication releases Jahnavi Gogoi's Things I Told Myself. My
Let me
heartfelt thanks to, yes, my heartfelt thanks to Shiju sir, Swapna ma'am, Barabara ma'am, Annie ma'am, Mary ma'am, Mellisa ma'am, Sreekala, and all the guests present here. Like, accepting like sudden invites or like reading, like, reading a poetry book. Suddenly, I'm sending you the poems and the content you're reading, and then coming up with so many good words, motivational words, and encouraging our poet to write more and more. Thank you so much. Heartiest congratulations, Jahnavi. Uh,
Thank you.
yes, now, like, after this release, Swapna ma'am,
Yes.
can we hear a few words on Jahnavi now? This is the book we have released. How will you help her to reach, all right, to make her reach to the other poets or her poetry? You are an experienced poet. You have read her poetry too by now. Yes, ma'am, a few words for Jahnavi.
Jahnavi ji, I love nature, and I could see many poems there, like as you said, na, birds and all that. I have visited Assam, Jorhat, Mazuli, and all these places. So it has a long-lasting impact on me. So we will make, maybe Shiju sir can guide us properly, but then we can have also some poetry reading sessions on this book itself. We can have also some reviews, or we can have maybe interviews as well, because the diaspora and the Indo-Canadian one famous poet is on the way in the international road now. Okay, now the poetry book is not your property, it has come to the international roadway. So we all join our hands and blessings and the strategy we have to fix. Griffin Publication, whatever you will do for this book, we all are with you. Sister Marilyn is there, and all the eminent poets are sitting here, and we all love the words, we all love the poets also. Love is the basic, the formula or the basic sutra which combines us. Okay. So,
Yes.
Jahnavi ji, the bard poem I wanted to listen from you, but if the time permits, if Mousumi permits us to listen, is
This
it possible?
so please note, Jahnavi, you have
Yes.
to read the poem Bard. Now coming to Shiju sir. Shiju sir,
Yeah.
so you have, like, it was just a general question to Jahnavi. What was your idea behind the title? Because you already had been like explained, things I told myself, or we keep on speaking myself. So what suggestions you want to give to our budding poet, or she was a writer, she has been writing since a long, but now this is a debut poetry book. So you have written innumerable poetry, I know, I have read, and let me tell you, Jahnavi sir has written all kinds of poetry, all genres he has touched. And when you read his rhyming poems, you'll be mesmerized. So, sir, how will you encourage Jahnavi today to keep writing and so that she should not stop? And, what more do you want to say, Jahnavi, and her book?
See, Jahnavi, I don't know whether during your childhood days you have done this. During our childhood days, we have this kinds of pranks what we play with our fellow children. We hide behind a tree or behind a rock, and then we throw a small stone, and then he keeps wondering who threw at me. And then we hide and we giggle, right? Poetry shouldn't be like that. Now you have thrown a stone, take ownership of it. Go to that person and tell that, yes, I have thrown a stone at you. But at the same time, I will make sure that you wouldn't feel the pain of it. So your poetry book has been launched. Take ownership of the book. Let it not be that, you publish and then you bring out a book into the market and then you totally ignore that book and expect people to do everything for it. That, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, something in between, something came. So the entire journey of literature does not cease with publication. It just begins. You have to make sure that, people know you through your book. If people have to know you through your book, you have to know the people. You have to know the people. The people have to know that you have a book. Yes, myself, Mousumi, Lynn, Mellisa, Swapna Beheraji, our Ehrentreu, we are all there to, of course, we have a very good heart. We all of us have very good heart in motivational steps. We love to see everybody coming out as the best. But, I wouldn't like to add up vanity words and then, give you a wrong signal. The ownership of the book is always with the author.
Right.
Every year during June, July, Mousumi, that Katashi Tales has its anniversary. So during that time, I do a rewind of all the, people who have, most of the people whom you might know, who have read that book, So that gives a boost to the other readers who wouldn't have read that book. So understand that the life of a book is beyond your generation. It is beyond your generation, not even it ends with your generation. Because if a real great book has come out, William Shakespeare, I don't think even his bones are still there. That would have also vanished. It would be just mud, but still his books are still fresh, evergreen. We still read it with awe and wonder, how during that time so many things came to his mind. So the wisdom is there. Keep interacting. The most important thing is keep interacting. Don't shy away from people. You have to have the courage to interact and make sure that whatever you would wish the others to do to you, you have to do to others. You have to encourage others. When you go and encourage one of the poem or you give a one or two line about their poem, that is how you become familiar to them. Maybe, yes, in the initial stage, you're a stranger to them. And once you become familiar to them, they will suddenly, they will understand that, yes, Jahnavi has written a book. I should be reading her book. Sometimes you have to share one or two poems which has suddenly propped up in your mind. So there is a lot of things which you have to do. First and foremost thing, literature is not a business. Right. Whoever has tried business with literature, they failed miserably.
Absolutely.
Literature is never business. Literature comes from your heart. Yes, there are people who have become millionaires and billionaires by writing, but those people never wanted to market it. It is just because that the content what they wrote was meeting the expectation of a massive crowd that success has happened. You have written a great book, no doubt on that. Things I tell myself. The title itself is catchy. The book cover is great. The content is awesome. But how many of the readers or the potential writers? Because please understand that every reader is also an aspirant who wants to write. Maybe they don't tell us. They might be writing a few lines on their own also. They will be attempting. And many of you writers have come here after being a reader, correct? All of you, of course, during your childhood days, you would have read something or you would have been inspired by that. I'm sure you're matured enough. You know the process. Let the book be reminded to all periodically. Do not allow the book to walk to the people and, make it on its own. It's never going to happen. It's your baby. Until and unless it starts running, you have to keep, pampering it. You have to keep supporting it. You have to make sure the right feeds are coming to that particular baby. The right feeds are what the people should know the book more, should know more about you. Of course, Griffin publication is a great background, a great brand to start. It is doing very well because Mousumi does not accept any work which do not meet up her quality requirement. I know how strict she is on that. So you have a great startup. You have a wonderful launch. Many wonderful people who have been very successful are sitting over here. Marilyn and all. Marilyn, I'm sure you've crossed more than around a dozen of books by now, right?
Yeah, right.
Melissa's poems are too strong. Swapna Behera ji is a social activist. She loves nature. She has written books. Thrope, her debut book has been very successful. Sreekala's, even the latest book has been a bestseller. Amazon rank 1. So, you have got everything what you needed to give you moral support with those kinds of fireworks, which the world will see. But those fireworks, you have to take it to the world. This is what happened. That is how the book becomes successful. Take ownership, 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 ownership. It is your baby. You have to watch it grow. Don't give birth to the baby and then, allow the baby to walk on its own. That's never going to happen in literature.
Absolutely.
Many people, many bestsellers, you will not believe the kind of interactive programs they have done. Try to attend interactive programs in colleges, in universities. Speak loud about your book. But make sure that the people who support you in this journey is given back the same respect. That is how literature grows. That kind of communication what you have with your crowd is the result what you're going to get back from the crowd. That's all. I think I have put it in the best way possible to you, Jahnavi. I mean, the rest of the things you know what to do, right?
Of course. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
My pleasure.
So much, Shiju sir, for your enlightening words. Yeah, Jahnavi, what motivated you to write specifically poetry? Like, what's the motivational factor behind your pen?
Poetry is something which I have been now writing steadily for a number of years. And, I would often tell my friends that I'm going to write a book of poetry one day. But life took me in a very different direction. And I ended up writing something very different. I ended up writing fiction for children, which I enjoyed, and the books did well. But during the pandemic, I went back to poetry, and I met you, Mousumi, after a gap of so many years. You found me on social media. I started this Instagram page of poetry, and I received a stupendous response from my readers. And of course, Mousumi constantly kept pushing me that you have to collect your poems because you write very well. So that motivated me, and I put together these 50 poems. And yes, here we are. Because
what said, we need to keep encouraging and motivating our fellow writers, our fellow poets. Right. It's not yes. It's we always. Thank you, Jahnavi. Yes, your poem Bard, then we will listen to two lines from all our esteemed guests. There was a request from Swapna ma'am. Yes, your poem. Can you read that poem?
So Birds is a little, it's on the longer side. I'll try my best to do justice to it. So, birds. On quiet mornings, interrupted only by birdsong, father would point them out. The woodpeckers drilling into trunks, miners hopping gingerly across the grass, bulbuls showing off their crest, robins, bluest of the blue. Flocks of sparrows and that occasional crow that would find a perch to announce a guest, as mother grumbled in a good-natured way. Magpies, those petty thieves leaving prints on the sill, and the pigeons, cooing their restful tunes on sweltering days as afternoons drew to a quiet end. A baleful owl sat on the rusted iron gate, and dusk, a mystery maiden, made way for velvet skies, where once again beautiful Cassiopeia and soulful Aquarius beckon me near, trying to bewitch me. But the hoarse calls of night herons lull my wild ardor into dreamless slumber, and I cannot awaken. So that is words.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jahnavi, and thank you, Swapna ma'am, for requesting her to read out this poem, Birds. As such a lover, I'm in love with the poems related to nature, birds, trees. People call me sick also because I'm too much obsessed with nature, plants, green. Thank you so much, Jahnavi. Yes, Mary ma'am. 2 lines for Jahnavi, so that she can 2 lines. She should take your words today home and keep them stored in her jewelry box and open it, all right, and wear it daily. Yes, Mary ma'am.
My. Well, the only thing I can really say is that the words, that poem, words. I wish I could hear her read that poem. I just loved it, and I would love to hear her just read that poem. I think that is absolutely her. And I would love for her to remember just to let her ink flow the way she has it now. Don't get caught up in somebody else's words. Keep your own words, your own self. Be true to yourself.
True.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, if you can hear me, Thrope ma'am.
Yes. I think that
jewelries to Jahnavi today so that she can take those pearls and keep them wearing whenever she feels she should write.
Well, I don't have exactly 2 lines, but my best advice would be to, like Marilyn said, stay true to your heart and don't accept criticism from anyone. That's my best advice.
Thank
you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, Sreekala, ma'am, you are there. Hope you can listen.
Yes.
Words. Yes, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes. To like jewels today, precious stones you want to gift Jahnavi today, so that she can keep wearing those and remember you whenever she writes poetry.
Yes. So the first one is that interrogative mind what you have, or the introspection what you've done in your book. Let it continue forever, because this is the way when we discover ourselves, whatever has happened in our life or in daily life, what we come across, it may get transformed into poems. So keep introspection, keep interrogating yourself. Many things will come out, and this is the first jewel. And trust the other jewel which I'm gifting you. Keep a trust on yourself, because you are the best. You are unique. You are the best. Keep that trust in yourself and move on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank
yes,
you.
What would you like to gift Jahnavi today, so that she keeps close to her, and she gets motivated, she gets motivated every time she feels to write.
Oh, you want me to speak? Oh, okay. Okay. I would say to Jahnavi that when I think of poetry, I never think of criticism. I have a poetry group, and we are a group of people who get together and share poetry. It's just like in motivational strips. We put our poetry on there for people to see. Your poetry is always going to be yours. If you decide that you want to change it, that's your decision. Don't listen to anybody. Always think of how you felt when you wrote the poem. You know, somebody once told me when I was taking this class that you may have something in your head, but it doesn't always come out on the paper. So always when you're writing, make sure that what you have in your head is on the paper.
Right.
And always keep writing. I mean, just write whenever, write when something excites you, write when something makes you sad, write when you get angry, write anything, anytime that you feel like it. And then I also want to say that with a book like that, with your book, it's always best to try and show it around a lot of places, but don't actually push it into anyone's face. So
Yes.
it's a, you have to walk a fine line there between showing your book, telling people about it, but don't push it in their face. You know, it's like going into a store and you're looking at a piece of clothing and a salesperson is hanging around, but they don't say anything. You might buy that piece of clothing, but if that salesperson came up to you and said, "Oh, you know, this is great and we'll really love it," you might say, "No, I don't think so. I'm too pushy." So you don't want to be too pushy. And there are
Agreed.
many book authors who are pushy about their books.
Yes.
And I just want to tell you that having a book is like having a job. You know, you have to make sure that people know this book. One really good way is to take your poems and post them, and then say, "Oh, this book is from my book. You know, this poem is from my book," and then you have that. And so people see your poems. Another good way is to come on my show, which and also other people will want you on radio shows and Zooms and things like that. A good way is to get yourself interviewed
Right.
in any way possible by anyone on Zoom now or in public, bookstores, just try any place you can find so that people have the title of your book in their head. And I'm really wonderful. I would love to hear you read Lost Girl, if you could, for me.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom.
I want to I would invite Mellisa ma'am to gift a few words to Jahnavi for sure. Before that, I want to announce today that Griffin Publication has taken an oath to never let any book fade. We would be conducting regular interviews with our authors, with our poets, so that the visibility of the books remain forever, and so that our books remain immortal, and our authors and our poets too. So we will be conducting regular interviews with our published authors, poets, and also we will be conducting discussion sessions with the reviewers on the books published by Griffin Publication. Yes, Mellisa ma'am, the words you want to gift Jahnavi Gogoi today for her book, Things I Told Myself.
Well, the title and the cover is an enticement in themselves. And if I was at the bookstore, that definitely would catch my eye, and I would probably pick up the book and I would browse through it, and I would just be really excited because you have tapped into not only your inner being and your wisdom from yourself, you know, a higher consciousness level, but you've also tapped into the wisdom of cosmic nature. And I think that's a very important aspect, that we have that oneness, you know, amongst humans and cosmic nature. And I think you have done that. And I think Barbara's suggestion where you showcase, you know, your book, you know, maybe on motivational strips, and then you include one of the poems from your book, I think that would be an excellent way also to catch people's attention. And congratulations, and I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think Barabara ma'am had requested, she has just requested you to read a poem. If you are like, just wind our show with her, rendition. And yes, the vote of thanks by Shiju sir.
Before you wind up, Mousumi, I just want to tell you something. That in motivational steps we have a authors recognition program like Literary Hut. So along with the book cover and book links, if you send it to us, send it to me or either Shiju sir, we will do the needful.
Thank you so much, Sreekala. We'll definitely send, and the entire event is recorded and it would go to many news portals. And hope we can, do justice to this book and make this book reach more and more people, more and more readers, and hope that this book encourages many young and old poets to pen down their poetry rather than keep them only in their diaries. Thank you, Sreekala. Yes, Jahnavi,
So I think what Barabara ma'am wants me to read is this poem called Girl. It's poem number 22 on page 46. So it starts like this. So it starts with Lost Girl. The tag on her suitcase, a very thoughtful gift, or should I say, a truthful one. For a girl forever lost in dreams, with eyes that did not see, making her trip, fall, and shrug off chains that held her down, so she could find her home away from home.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Barabara ma'am, for this request. And we could hear such a beautiful rendition. My favorite lines, because I keep on, I do not, maybe I am suffering from insomnia, I do not know, but I just love these lines. Could you sleep last night? Did you sleep last night? He often asks. I will tell you how. I have not in years.
16 years, yeah.
So I love these lines. Congratulations once again, Jahnavi, for the success of your book. I will say success because this book has reached many readers right? And this book is doing very good under Griffin publication. So I do not call it just a release. We are celebrating the success of this book. Things I told myself by Jahnavi Gogoi. Yes, Shiju sir. I won't give the vote of thanks today. I request our chief guest, Shiju sir, to all right, say a few words so that we can wind up the show today. Jahnavi, I hope your friend is here, Jyoti Dole. If she wants to share a few words, she can.
Is she here? Let's see. I
did not see her.
Yeah, I don't see her either. I think she must have left. Oh, she has. She made an exit because she has to go somewhere.
Okay. So Shiju sir, can you hear me? Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Yes, Mousumi, I can hear you.
Today, I won't end it. You will end it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am the only gentleman here. So that addressal is for me too. So we all took off on a journey for the last 45 minutes with, of course, Mousumi, Kalita, Sachdeva being our pilot. And, the second captain, the second officer was, of course, our other Jahnavi Gogoi, Bora. And we were all the passengers, who kept encouraging them to fly more higher. So it was a wonderful journey. All of you have, been very, very cohesive and friendly in terms of sharing out the experiences of this flight. So we never felt the journey was boring. Everybody did give a lot of inputs. And, the pilots kept, trying to keep away from the autopilot because they wanted it to be more adventurous. So both the pilots cut off the autopilot and then, they started, bouncing it up and down, trying to feel the turbulence. And of course, the hardest turbulence was felt through the emotional verses which were there inside this book called Things Which I Would Like to Tell Myself. So she started off the journey by telling things to herself, but we are landing back after the launch of the book. By she's saying that things which I always told myself, now the things are being told to everybody. I mean, it's with everyone. Uh, I hope that even if the flight has landed, we are coming to the end of this program. I expect that only we have landed, but let the book keep flying higher and higher, touching altitudes which you wouldn't have ever expected it to touch. So with that, thank you for all your time. Passengers, smoking is strictly prohibited. Talking is allowed always when it comes to the next journey also. So thank you so much. I think that is the best way I could end this program, because it was all of a sudden unprepared, a word of thanks. Thank you so much to Griffin Publication, News Now Nation. You all have been always a wonderful host, and it has always been fun attending any launches of Griffin Publication. And we're looking forward to more books from Jahnavi as well as your other authors. And of course, my book is still pending. So someday we will make it happen. So with all that, with lots of love to each of you. I love all of you. I do not love anyone. I love everyone. Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much, our esteemed guest, for being here, for taking out time to meet our beautiful poetess, Jahnavi Gogoi. And I would like to end the show today. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to end the show with two sentences, two lines from Jahnavi, so that she can thank our esteemed, guests who are here today to motivate you and to make your launch a grand event. Yes, Jahnavi, all yours now, and we end the show.
Thank you so much to all the special people who joined today's book launch. Thank you, Griffin Publication. Thank you, Mousumi, Sachdeva. I am a nobody without my readers, because we poets, when we write, we also want people to read our poetry. And thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your support. Without the love of people, I wouldn't be here today. Without the love and support of all the people who have been there for me. And Shiju sir, yes, I promise to be there for those who have supported me in this beautiful journey. And thank you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Have a good night. All right, see you again with a new book and with more and more interviews. Do come and do experience your journey with Griffin Publication. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mousumi,
Thank you so much.
for the grand success of the event.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Congratulations.
You connected all of us. Okay. Thank you so much, Mousumi.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mousumi.
Thank you.
Very nice
you.
very nice to see Annie Thrope also today. It's quite a long time since Annie and myself have shared a platform, right, Annie? If I'm not wrong.
Great to see you too, Shiju.
Great to see you, Shiju.
Congratulations. Thanks for the invitation.
I think you forgot me a little, but it's okay.
Barbara and myself also, I
journey.
think it's quite after some time we are sharing a platform.